after this long pregnancy, I'm going to share acute low back pain during or after pregnancy. I have a disclaimer, I have no experience whatsoever and have never experienced this pain in my life, and I don't believe many of us have. So whatever we are going to talk is conjectural, figment of imagination, and hoping and praying that it helps those few patients who come to us. 50% of women at least, and some literature says up to 70%, suffer from low back pain during or after pregnancy. There are two basic types. One is the lumbar pain, like the one that we all see, lower back, instability type pain. But the other one, which is more common, is the pelvic girdle pain, which is 4 times more common during pregnancy. It basically extends from the posterior iliac crest going down the buttocks onto the thighs. Lumbar pain is around the lumbar spine, while the posterior iliac crest going up to gluteal fold is called the pelvic girdle pain. 1/3 suffer to an extent where quality of life is affected. A majority of them have it during their first pregnancy. 80% says it affects their daily routine. 10% do not go to work because of back pain during pregnancy, and is the leading cause of sick leave among women who do not report to work. Now, something which is to be very clear and do not get carried away. This back pain is not necessarily due to the following causes, but these are conjectural, controversial. Weight gain, anterior shift center of gravity, pubic symphysis stress and lordotic low back stress, connection with a pelvic floor dysfunction, axial loading causing the disc to become smaller in height, weakness of abdominals and gluteals. All women have all these, but not all of them suffer with back pain. The commonest, as we thought as orthopedic spine surgeons, was this movement where the center of gravity would be shifted a bit anteriorly. But what we don't know, and we need to know, is that the relaxin hormone, which is released during pregnancy, increases 10-fold laxity of ligaments, and this may cause a misalignment in the back, cause a low-grade pelvic instability, and the SI joints may also get a little lax. Low back pain worsening at night at times is because of the weight on the venous plexus or the vena cava, causing a venous congestion in the pelvis and the lumbar area. Sciatica, mind you, the classical radiculitis of radiculopathy, is less than 1% in the pregnant women, de novo. Yes, if they've had it in the past, it may recur during pregnancy coincidentally, but is not necessarily precipitated by the pregnancy. Postpartum pain may be at times related to osteitis condensans ili, which is more of a rheumatological ailment where you have bilateral symmetrical SI joint involvement. There are no real tests which help us differentiate one from the other, but there are modifications of the tests we do, like the sacroiliac stretch test, which also elicits SIST is what we do. It also causes the pelvic girdle pain. A posterior push, like a push handle test, also causes the same. And an active anti-gravity SLR done by the patient herself, causing low back pain, mimicking like an instability, can cause lumbar pain. So if you have an active SLR positive, it's lumbar pain, while the other tests, sacroiliac mimicking, are pelvic girdle pain. There are various sort of modifications which have been looked at from our indices used as instruments by the gynecologist, but nothing specific. However, please understand the so-called pelvic instability is far less than is reported and is not really the critical cause of the discomfort, because it's only very rarely that in a difficult labor, a symphysiotomy may need to be done in nowadays. It's usually other modalities by which a difficult labor is handled, and more so with a cesarean section. Yes, if you've had pelvic trauma in the past, chronic back pain, multiple pregnancies, low back pain during pregnancy, before pregnancy, during menstruation, like a dysmenorrhea, all these can aggravate and cause severe low back pain during pregnancy. Important point, taking a cue from Abhay's talk, regular exercise before pregnancy. Those women who've been regular runners, marathon runners, mountain climbers may have less incidence of low back pain during pregnancy. Please understand, all these, there is no evidence, although there is literature stating that it may be related. Socioeconomic status, hypermobility of joints, people blame the male fetus, excessive body weight, contraceptive pills, woman's age or workload, none of these. And most important, last 9, Epidural or spinal anesthesia during labor is not associated with higher postpartum low back pain. There is no literature which says that. Mind you, we have to instruct our future mothers, educate them about proper posture if they do reach you, and tell them that aerobic exercises during pregnancy or pre-pregnancy, if started, if it's a planned pregnancy, will help them take care or alleviate the low back pain during pregnancy. What's the prognosis? Well, most of them will diminish within 3 months postpartum. A combined low back pain or low lumbar pain and the pelvic girdle pain takes longer to resolve. Please understand, it's more common that you will have these lumbar pains post-pregnancy and not the pelvic girdle pain. Caesarean section causing low back pain is debatable. The gynecologists stick their neck out and say it does not happen, although there are certain non-gynac presentations in literature which say that it is probably a cause. Women with higher postpartum weight and do not reduce their weights, they have a higher risk. And postpartum depression, mind you, is extremely high. Treatment, there are various modalities, none of them are evidence-based. In our country, sunlight exposure, vitamin D exposure, giving them relaxation therapy, taking care of their postpartum stress syndrome, all that, modifying lifestyle, how to pick the kids up, how to move around, lose your weight post-pregnancy, and even the age-old hot water bottle works. So, the only thing that I can say at the end of it, we are not going to have it, but we'll have to have patients who will have it, and we have to counsel them and tell them that it's not something that can necessarily be cured, but you may have to probably endure it. Thank you very much for a patient hearing.